This is Graham Potter. After a successful spell at Brighton and a not so successful time at Chelsea, he is back to manage West Ham United. So first things first, the tactics. Now this is how West Ham are currently lining up, give or take a player or two. Jarrod Bowen's injured for a little bit, but he'll definitely be in our plans. But one thing about Graham Potter, he's fluid tactically, but I think he's going to go back to this formation. And this is how I see us lining up with a couple of changes. I think Jarrod Bowen goes to the top of the attack. And Wan-Bissaka, who's actually been quite good going forward this season, is going to be our right mid with Emerson as our left mid. Now, obviously, we're going to need some recruitment. We'll probably go with Areola in goal, but neither Areola or Fabianski are great with their feet. So we might need to get a new goalkeeper. And the middle of the park, we do need a bit more energy. Rodriguez and Souček probably don't have the legs. So we'll go with Carlos Soler and we'll go with Alvarez. Probably just a bit quicker. Should be able to cover ground a bit more effectively. But what I'm really excited about is that front three of Kudus, Paqueta and Bowen. Obviously, we need to retrain some positions. We also have Somerville and Emerson who can rotate. If we're going against the smaller side, then Somerville goes left mid. If we're going against a bigger side, then Emerson goes in at left mid. But we can change things around. So Foul as well, does he have a future here? We've got a lot of decisions to make and not a lot of time to make them. Let's have a look at what we can do with the squad. First area we need to look at finding is definitely a goalkeeper. We might not sign them in January, but going forward we're going to need a new one. And we're looking for first team quality, and we're also looking for that sweeper keeper role because we need someone that's good with their feet for this formation. Next position, whenever you convert to a free back position, you need to make sure you have the best defenders possible. We've gone for a centre back that has physical play styles. First team prospect, could be young. And the role, we've gone for defender plus, which should give us good sprint speed, defensive awareness, all the rest of it. Next we need a midfielder and we need legs. So I'm going to go someone that's either box to box holding. That sort of role would be good for us. Even maybe a CDM that's like a holding CDM, that would work well as well. So our first signing of the window, it's actually not a signing that's going to come in straight away, but I think it's actually perfect for this system and this formation, and that is Jonathan David. So here goes, we will try to sign Jonathan David on a free. Hopefully he will become our new star striker. And I guess he probably worked with him at Chelsea, I'm guessing. What I'm thinking is a loan to buy offer for Carney Chukwuemeka. Can play in the cam, can play in the centre mid role. Definitely provides us with some legs for the team and probably one for the future. We can loan him, so we're going to go for the loan to buy option. And so far has decided to leave on a free. To be honest, I don't blame him. Doesn't really suit the new formation, the new tactics, so fair enough. And the first signing of the Graham Potter era is going to be Carney Chukwuemeka. He comes in on loan at first, but obligation to buy. And his first game in charge for Graham Potter. We're at Villa Park. We put out a strong lineup, as you can see, and hopefully we can get a win against a tough Aston Villa side. Having a really good season so far, doing well in the Champions League, not so bad in the Prem either. And although it's Potter's first game, I'll be honest, this is a very big game for Graham Potter, because if West Ham don't win, they're likely going to stay up in the league, so I feel like their season's kind of over if they don't get a big win here. So that's the team we're up against. Philigine's actually at Ipswich now, interestingly enough. But this is how we are lining up. As you can see, we've gone for a balance. Somerville on the left, Wan-Bissaka on the right. Cross comes in. Todibo heads it. Rodgers out to Areola, good save. And we have managed to win a penalty. It's up to Paqueta. Sends Martinez the wrong way, and what a start to the Graham Potter era. Lucas Paqueta with the goal to take the lead. 1-0 to the Yammers. Villa are on the attack now. John Duran versus Todibo. Manages to beat Todibo. Gets the shot off just wide. We are very fortunate. Leon Bailey running through with the shot. Areola with the good save. And it's out for a corner. And that is it, guys. Graham Potter's first game in charge is a 1-0 win against Aston Villa. Shakes Unai Emery's hand. And is this going to be the start of something special at West Ham? This is the first home game for Graham Potter under the lights of the London Stadium. We're against Fulham. Is that a rivalry? Might not be a big one, but it is a rivalry, I guess, a London derby. And let's see how he does in his first home game. Long ball forward, finds Fulkrug, takes a touch. Finish was not there though. They're on the attack with Paquetá. Finds Somerville, gives it back to Paquetá. Carlos Soler on the ball, opts to have a go. Well blocked. Fulham go the other way with Muniz. Manages to get past Kilman. Goes for the shot. It's in the bottom right hand side of Areola's goal. And Fulham take the lead. Not the start Graham Potter wanted. 1-0 to Fulham. Somerville tries to get the cross in. Goes deep to Kudus. Cuts in. Goes for the shot. Leno with a good save. Cross comes in from Soler. Paquetá. Right footed. Leno again. Another good save. We've conceded a penalty. Wilson against Areola sends him the wrong way. It is going from bad to worse for Graham Potter's men. 2-0 to Fulham before the half. We're going to need improvement. And that's going to do it. A 2-0 win for Fulham. First game at home at the London Stadium is a loss for Graham Potter. We'll try again in the next one. Here he is, back at the bridge. The team that sacked him. Graham Potter returns to face them. So here we are. This is the Chelsea lineup. Pretty much the same. Oh, okay. Actually not. They have Bruno Guimaraes and Joselu up front. So they had a busy January. Don't think that would happen in real life though. And main man, captain, fantastic. Jarrod Bowen is back. First game under Potter. Let's see what they can do. Jarrod Bowen's got a bit of space. Goes for the shot. Good save. Kudus cuts in. Finds Jarrod Bowen. Oh, good block by Levi Colwill. And Nicholas Jackson is through and behind here. Kilman doesn't have the legs. Jackson takes too long, but we've given away a penalty. I think Kilman's pulled him back, maybe. That looked a bit weird, though. Let's see the replay. Oh, they're not showing the replay. Palmer steps up with the penalty. Areola goes the right way, but Cole Palmer back at it again. Iconic celebration as well. Tough for Graham Potter. 2 penalties in 2 games is not great. Kudus takes over. Kudus driving into the box. Needs support. Goes alone straight at Sanchez. Makes a mess of it though. Jackson's found some space here. And he makes it 2-0. Tough time for Graham Potter. Jackson with the goal. Been a handful for the defenders. Not the best of starts for Graham Potter in the league. And Guilherme's off to Sporting. He's going on loan for the next maybe season and a bit. We'll see how he does over in Portugal. In terms of transfer activity, as you know, Guilherme went out on loan. We brought in Pani. Jonathan David is coming in the summer. Fabianski and Sufal are leaving on freeze. And you know what, despite some rocky fixtures in our London derbies, managed to pick it up. We beat Wigan on penalties, Brentford 3-1 in the league, Arsenal 3-2 in the league, and Leicester 1-1. And that actually leaves us slap bang in the middle of the Premier League, 10th place. We're actually not that far off Europe, to be honest. I don't know how we've managed to pull that one off, but we are also pretty much clear of relegation. We've got 39 points, which is 1 away from 40, which usually is enough to stay up. So no threat of relegation. Let's just see if we can keep moving up the table. And somehow Amorim's managed to get Man United to 4th. I'm trying to keep this realistic. So we have reached the end of the season. And as you can see, March, we actually lost in the FA Cup to Fulham. However, after a bit of a losing spell, we managed to beat Southampton. Then we went on a bit of a winning run. But then the last game of the season, we lost to Ipswich. And that actually meant we finished in 9th place. Now, West Ham fans, let me know in the comments, would you take that finish this season? I think it's pretty decent. Obviously, a lot to improve on next season. The goal for next year is to make at least the Europa League. And then the following season, knocking on the door for the Champions League. Hopefully we can win a cup in the meantime, but let's have a look at the stats on the season. And before we check out the stats, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, we are so close to 1k subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy realistic career mode videos and you want to see more. And let's have a look. So stats wise, Kudus was our top scorer with 14 goals in the league, 3 assists. Bowen behind him with 11 and 9. Decent returns, but honestly, we are going to need a big striker because Jarrod Bowen in the striker position. I think now that Jonathan David's coming in, we might either change formation or we might look to play a bit differently or a different role for Jarrod Bowen. And guys, I've just realised Fulkrug has requested a transfer. To be honest, I don't blame him. He's probably seen that Jonathan David's coming in the summer and realised he's not going to get much play time. And I actually like this move. 22.5 million, Arsenal are signing Nicholas Fulkrug. Maybe the number 9 they've been looking for, who knows. And in terms of the rest of the standings, no surprise, Liverpool won the league, 3 points away from Centurions, crazy. Chelsea, Arsenal and United managed to get top 4. And going down is going to be Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester. Going to be interesting for our transfer business. Maybe we'll end up signing players from those 3 clubs. What's interesting is Nottingham Forest dropped all the way down to 16th. What a fall from grace. And the FA Cup saw Ange get a trophy. Now that is interesting. They beat Arsenal as well, of all teams, in the final. And Arsenal get a trophy as well. They win the Carabao Cup against United on penalties. Not sure what United are doing in the Carabao Cup final after losing to Tottenham, but here we are. No surprise who won the Champions League, but shout out to Sporting. Without Amorim, they have made it to the Champions League final. Porto won the Europa League, so are Portugal going to get more places in the Champions League next year because of that? And then Real Betis won the conference. In terms of contracts, we are going to be saying goodbye to Mikel Antonio, Cresswell and Danny Ings, who are in the last year of their deal. So, Season 2, I think it will be Soler, and I reckon we're going to need a new midfielder. I think Edson Alvarez will end up becoming a centre-back. Someone like Guido Rodriguez, he's only got a year left on his deal. Hasn't really worked out so far. Not got enough pace to fit the formation and the system, so maybe we look to move him on. And with the arrival of this man, Jonathan David, we might need to change things up a bit. And this is what I'm proposing, a 3-4-1-2, slightly different shape, but if Bowen's more of that false 9 dropping deep and then David's working the channels, Somerville and Wan-Bissaka providing the balance, I think that could work out quite nicely. We obviously do need to find that new goalkeeper though, because unfortunately Areola just isn't good with his feet. And from the scouting we did last season, I've managed to whittle it down to 2 goalkeepers. Now, Aaron Ramsdale, who got relegated with Southampton, and Kevin Kelleher, who had a great season last year, but now finds himself probably 3rd choice behind Marmadashvili and Alisson. So, Kelleher has joined from Liverpool. We actually managed to get him for a decent price as well. In real life, you'd probably be looking at probably 30 million plus. We've got him for 15. Now, as you can see, I also sent out scouts to find a new left winger, a new right midfielder, centre back and midfielder. So we're going to see who we managed to find for that centre back position. Now, I think this guy could be the perfect midfield player for Graham Potter. He can do a bit of everything, more on the defensive side, can even step into the centre back position, great with both feet, 6'4", he's mobile, can defend, can pass, can even dribble a bit, and is very physical. It's only going to cost us about 15-16 million. Anton Stack should be our new midfielder. And our second signing is going to be Anton Stack. He's a big lad, 6'4", comes in, going to play centre mid, hopefully provide a bit of balance. I'll show you what the team's looking like. Okay, so Stack comes in at centre mid. We can probably play either Paqueta or Carlos Soler as the other centre mid. We've got Somerville and Wan-Bissaka on the wings. It does feel like we need maybe another centre mid that's of a higher quality. Somerville, I don't mind. Defensively though, Emerson looks like he's going to leave, so we might need someone that can do a bit of both. As you can see, Somerville's defending is not the best, 36 defending. Wan-Bissaka, on the other hand, can do both, but might need a bit of cover. Let's see who we find. And with Emerson joining Girona, I'm going to bring in a new left midfielder. Pretty much straight away know who I want to bring in. And it is Quinton Merlin. In real life, he's at Marseille. Is a left back, but can play left mid, so perfect for that wing back position. Only cost us 18 mil. Let's see how good he is. So I'm going to retrain him to be a left midfielder, which is going to take 12 weeks. But if you look at his stats, he does suit that sort of midfield position. High dribbling, high passing, okay pace. Maybe Luca Dean, who knows? We'll see how good he is. And it's finally happened. Paquetá is joining Man City now. Not for the fee we had expected, but 30 million, maybe could have got 40, but he wanted to go, so he has now gone. Now, I wanted a bit more of a technical midfielder, and this man, Douglas Luiz, plenty of Premier League experience, hasn't really worked out for him in Italy so far, but if anyone's going to help us push for that Champions League qualification as our ultimate goal, it's going to be him. Douglas Luiz, number 8, coming in from Juve. Now, it did cost us quite a bit of money, but every summer West Ham seemed to have that big money signing. Last year it was Kilman, season before was Kudus, and this year it is Douglas Luiz joining for 50 million. Apparently we're an excellent deal. Let's see how he does. And so here's what the team is looking like. I think it looks quite good. Stack can rotate with Soler. We also have Rodriguez and Souček still in and around the team. They'll be on the bench for now. Our defense is Edson Alvarez, Todibo, Mavropanos. Really could move things around and have Max Kilman there as well. But in the game, he's only 77, doesn't seem to be growing very quickly. And the only issue is we don't really have a backup striker. Now, I know we're playing 2 strikers and we could just go to a 1 striker system. But I think we're going to play how we are for the season. So I think the last signing we need is maybe just a backup striker. There he is, new backup striker, in for 2 years. Have an option to buy him as well. Datro Fofana, see how he does. In terms of player sales, we have loaned out a few players, but Ward-Prowse has gone to Newcastle, Paquetá went to City, Emerson to Girona, Agard went to Chelsea, Zuma to Bournemouth, and Cornet to Brighton. We've got another season about to kick off. The ultimate goal for this season is 100% European football. A lot of money has been spent, so the pressure is on Graham Potter to deliver. And this new signing, Kelleher in goal. Different look to the defence this year. 3 new midfielders and a brand new number 9. That's a lot of changes to the West Ham squad. Newcastle, however, Nick Pope remains in the team. They've got Jimenez now at centre-back, and that's about it. And we've unfortunately given away a penalty. Isak sends Kelleher the wrong way. 1-0 Newcastle. Not the start Potter wanted. We're going to have to come from behind. Eddie Howe is loving it. Gusto is at Chelsea as well. Look at that. Oh, at Newcastle, sorry. Bowen with a bit of space. Bowen with the shot. He just puts it wide. Unfortunately, that's going to do it. 1-0 to Newcastle. Weren't able to see a debut goal from Jonathan David despite a couple chances. Gonna need to improve in the next game. Didn't intend on selling him, but big club came in for him, so I thought it'd be realistic to let him go. Areola's off to Bayern Munich for 10 and a bit million. So we've made it to January, and as you can see, we're not in the best of positions. We are in 12th after 20 games. We've got 10 losses already on the season. Only picked up 24 points. It's actually going to be a bit of a struggle to find a Europa League position. What we have to make sure is we don't get relegated, but with Leeds on 11 points, it doesn't look likely. Let's see what the squad's looking like. And the squad doesn't look too bad. We've seen Jonathan David and Kudus go up to 84 overall. Not much movement elsewhere. Kilman, I think, went up to 78 and Kelleher up to 81. But the squad looks okay. Might need maybe a new centre mid, even though we just bought in Anton Stack. Maybe he was more of a squad player, I don't know. Maybe it's a big centre-back that we're missing. We do have Mavropanos who can play there, but other than that, it's not very good options. So maybe we'll buy a star centre-back. Let's see how much money we have to spend. So we actually have a decent amount in the budget. Not sure where that came from. 69 million. I'm guessing from all those sales in the summer. That's actually a lot of money to bring in a very solid centre-back. This one feels like maybe a bit of a panic buy, but we needed a centre-back and he was available. Milan Skriniar, he was still at PSG. Cost us less than 20 million. We had the money. Hopefully going to be a good signing for us. Let's see how it goes. Fofana in a bit of space. Goes near post. 1-0 West Ham. Good finish. West Ham are through. And Watford get the equaliser 1-1. Cross coming in from Merlin to the back post. Fofana takes a touch. Straight at the keeper. Comes out to Somerville. It's another huge save. And Jonathan David is on the pitch. Comes on. Makes it 2-1. Hopefully that's enough to see us to the next round. That'll do it. 2-1. We're through to the next round. Lovely. Okay, so it started. This was inevitable. The bids are coming in for Kudus. We've got a 52 million bid from Manchester United. It is January, so we're not going to sell him in January. However, if we don't get Europe this season, I don't think it would be realistic for Kudus to stay. So we're going to need to get Europe this season. And we've let Guido Rodriguez go to Newcastle for 17.5 million. Wasn't really playing him. Apparently we lack quality, so maybe we sign someone else. Let's have a look at the squad. And yeah, I see what they mean. If Stack is injured, then Irving or Souček play. So maybe a new centre mid, maybe someone even to replace Stack, because I think he's looking more like a squad player, someone that can play centre back if needed, but can play in that centre mid role as well. Somerville and Merlin are okay. Wan-Bissaka's still here, but he's actually about to leave on loan to Real Madrid. They haven't solved their right back problem, so he's asked for us to let him go to Real Madrid on a loan. Our bench is a bit thin as well. I forgot we had Carlos Soler, so he can rotate as well, but seems like we need another star in that middle with Douglas Luiz. Now, he hasn't seen much playtime at Bayern Munich under Vincent Kompany, and that's Leon Goretzka. Now, the big clubs have had opportunities to sign him. No one's really staked their claim, and this I think West Ham are very good at, picking up quality players that go into that sort of Europa League, challenging for Champions League type team. So Leon Goretzka, that would be a dream signing, I think. Bit on the older side, but we need experience as well. Him and Douglas Luiz in that midfield with Stack rotating as well. What a player. And you know what, I think that's enough signings for the January window. Two big players in, Goretzka and Skriniar coming in. They've got a lot of experience. This is quite an experienced team as well, so we should be able to get a decent finish. Let's hopefully get a cup run as well and get to that end of the season. And Ipswich seem to be in behind here. Mavropanos does well to recover. Shot off, Kelleher with the save, and Max Kilman can clear. It's going to be a penalty. Jonathan David steps up to take it. Goes top right, keeper stands no chance. 1-0, another goal for Jonathan David. Love to see it. And he's in again, plenty of space. Goes near post, 2-0. Doubles West Ham's advantage. On a brace already, we're not even at half time. And Fofana's managed to find some space. Looks for the man on the hat-trick, David. Oh, he hits the post. No hat-trick for Jonathan David. And that is going to do it. 2-0 it finishes. Ipswich versus West Ham. We are through to the next round. And it's another favourable draw in the FA Cup. Jonathan David, the man in form. We're at the London Stadium. And we are facing Coventry City, which is going to be an interesting game. We'll see how it goes. We've managed to pick up a penalty. Keeper doesn't look the biggest. And oh, he's missed. It's hit off the post and missed. The man in form, Jonathan David. Ball over the top. Finds Jonathan David in space. Goes across goal. No mistake this time. 1-0 West Ham. We're looking good to go into the next round. Fofana looking for David. He's got the pace. Opts to take it wide. Gives it back to Somerville. Finds Goretzka. Looking for the run of Soler. Opts to shoot with his left and he curls it into the top corner. 2-0 before half time. The boys are flying. Now it's our turn to do some defending. Todibo versus Haji Wright. Todibo takes it easily. And that's it, 2-0. We are into the next round. Definitely not going to get tired of saying that. Favourable tie against Coventry City. Let's see who we get in the next round. And it is quarter-final time. We're up against United. We're at home again. But not a very favourable draw this time. Man United at home. Going to be a tough fixture. There's the main man with the flickering tie. Let's see if we can do it. And Jonathan David's managed to run through. Just him and Onana. Goes across the goal and the man in form has put us ahead against Man United to start the second half. Potter is loving it. Trying to calm down the substitutes. Skriniar, who's not starting actually, is very happy. Finds Somerville wide. The cross could be on. Opts to go back post to Stack. What a save by Onana. And that is going to do it. 1-0. We managed to beat Manchester United. We are off to Wembley. There's Amorim and Potter. There's 2 more wins needed for silverware. We're at Wembley Stadium in the semi-final. We've got Newcastle. Eddie Howe versus Graham Potter. Joe Linton, Augusto, Akanji. We've got Kelleher. 90,000 people under one roof. Can Potter get us to a final in the second season? That would be amazing. Bowen looks for David. It's our first chance. Tries to go across goal. Akanji with the block. Bowen plays it over to Jonathan David. He's got another chance. This time no defender, but Pope with the big save. Stack switches it to Merlin. It's a great ball. Merlin with the cross in. Bowen, I think he's offside. It's Newcastle's turn to attack here. Barnes coming up. Finds Isak. Kelleher with the big save and we just get it clear. Slides through Barnes and Barnes puts it in the back of the net. No mistake there. Newcastle draw first blood. 1-0. And he's gone to celebrate with the gaffer. And you see Potter in the background is not happy. Could be our last chance to salvage something from the game. Corner in from Jared Bowen. Floats it in. Stack rises, but it's not enough. And that's going to do it. 1-0 win to Newcastle. We have crashed out in the semi-finals. Good showing from Potter's men. We'll be back again next year. And we would have faced Everton in the final. Oh, wow. Sean Dyche has been sacked as well. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Everton Realistic Rebuild. Let's have a look at our standings in the Prem. And in the Prem, we are 9th. As you can see, we do have a game in hand due to the FA Cup. And if we win it, we go above Aston Villa. But that 7th spot, which is a Conference League spot these days, is currently occupied by Spurs. You can see 6 is 61 points. It does not look likely we're going to be able to catch Newcastle. We will have to see how it goes. And it's 3 straight defeats to end the season, which unfortunately means we finish in 9th place. Winning the league was Arsenal, and relegated, I can confirm, it is Forest, Everton and Hull. Now, I wonder if Forest still have some interesting players. Leeds managed to survive by a point, so well done to them. 25 goals and 9 assists in the league. Probably signing of the season, considering we got him on a free. Jared Bowen had 19 and 9, another good solid season from him. Kudus kind of fell off. And considering we didn't get European football, I thought he would be wanted by some of the bigger clubs, but 8 goals and 4 assists. I think he's allowed to stay for another season. And guys, have a look at this. Jonathan David didn't even make the team of the season. Xerxes and Haaland were the 2 strikers. Saka won the player of the season, and it kind of makes sense because they did win the Premier League. And what makes even more sense is that Bukayo Saka had 31 goals. That is crazy. What a season. Looking like Mohamed Salah. Jonathan David was second, or joint second, with Xerxes. What I'm wondering is, why was Haaland here? He had 21 goals. He had 10 assists. Fair play to him. Fair play. And guys, Wan-Bissaka's loan deal came with a buy option, and Real Madrid have decided to buy him. Not a very good price for him. 18 and a bit million. I think his contract was expiring, so that's why they're saying great price, but slightly over his market value, but he wasn't playing much anyway. I'm okay with it. Newcastle went on to win the FA Cup 3-1 against Everton. Carabao Cup went to Liverpool. I think we lost in like the 5th round or something like that. Champions League went to Wolfsburg this time. Okay, that's interesting. Real Madrid nowhere to be seen. They lost to Juve in the quarters. And the Europa League went to Athletic Bilbao or Athletic Club I should say, on penalties against Mönchengladbach. And then the Conference League went to AC Milan. They won it 1-0 over Valencia. And so into season number 3, second full season for Potter. This is what the team's looking like. Honestly, I don't really see where we should improve. Both our wingers are quite young, 24. Skriniar is getting on a bit. He's 31, but we also have Mavropanos, who's only 28. He could play. And we've also got Max Kilman, who can play on the left as well. I think what we will do is sign Fofana on a permanent. We do have the option to buy him. He's on a 2-year loan, so we'll get that done. And we'll figure out how to use the rest of our 117 million budget. And first order of business of the season, I'm actually going to recall Luis Guilherme. He's meant to come back in January. Let's get him back. Give him the pre-season. He's up to 78 overall, by the way. So him and Somerville can rotate. I reckon it'll end up being Guilherme being the starter, but it's 2 very good options to have. Now, we said with them getting relegated, they would have some players we want. And this guy has a release clause of £40 million, probably now that they've been relegated. I think that's a fair price. Let's bring him in. He can play centre mid as well, drop deeper. We can rotate him and Kudus. The options are endless. Welcome to the team. And Souček is leaving us. He's gone to Girona for 14.5 million. Decent price for him. Don't think we use him much, but that's fine. We brought in Matej Kova to be our backup goalkeeper. Contract was running out. Gives a bit more pressure on Kelleher as well. But looking at the rating, Kelleher still a couple ratings higher than him. What I will say though is Kova's kicking is a bit better. So maybe better for playing out the back. Whereas shot stopping, Kelleher is clear favourite. And I've managed to find Carlos Augusto. Now, a bit on the expensive side, but he can play left mid, left back and centre back. So that is a big W. Let's see how much we can get him for. And there he is. Joining from Inter Milan. Cost us 31.5 million. So not cheap, but a very good signing. We could have got him for cheaper. That's annoying. He comes in at 82 overall. And he probably starts over Merlin. He's linked with a lot of big clubs, but seemingly they haven't taken him. His contract is also running out. That seems like perfect business to me. And I'm sure he is going to become our star centre-back for 18 million. What a bargain that is. We've got the likes of Kasanov, who I might put out on loan, you know. I know we've just signed him, but we've got Kilman and Mavropanos, who probably should play more. So I'm actually going to try and get him a loan deal. He's probably going to grow, and then next season he's going to be our star man. Chukwuemeka is off to Bournemouth for a year. Hopefully he grows well nicely there. So we have loaned out Kasanov to Genoa and Chukwuemeka to Bournemouth. Okay, so we've made it to January the 1st. And we're currently sitting in 9th place. We're actually only 3 points off 5th. So it's a decent season. We've only lost 4 games. A lot of draws though, which is not ideal. Top scorer though is Jonathan David leading the way. 12 goals in 19 games. Jared Bowen just behind him, but mostly getting his goals in the Carabao Cup. So that makes me think we have at least gotten far. And we have. We face Ipswich in the semi-final. We beat Villa in the round 3. 4-1 to Oxford in round 4. Quarterfinals, we beat Southampton on penalties, which saw Man United and Arsenal lose in the quarterfinals. So it's all to play for now. We're up against Ipswich and Spurs have Newcastle. And guys, I don't know how this has happened, but our new signing Morgan Gibbs-White is unhappy and has actually requested to leave. So should have kept an eye on who was playing. Let's see how much he played. And you know what? He played 14 games, which isn't awful. Maybe he thought he was going to be one of the big players, but I thought, well, if he wants to leave, he wants to leave. Let's see if we get some money for him. Maybe a swap deal is in order. Sending Kovar out on a 6-month loan. Probably going to be Brighton's backup, so not worried. And we're also letting Freddie Potts go. He's off to Burnley for 3.5 million. Weren't really going to use him, so thought we'll let him get game time elsewhere. So we're at Portman Road, second half of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Jared Bowen's top scorer, and first leg we won 3-2. A draw or a win here sees us into the final. David over the top to Bowen. Just him and the keeper now. Slows it down. Top corner. Great finish. We're surely through to the final. In front of the fans as well. Unbelievable. And that's going to do it. A 1-0 win. We are through to the final. But who is it that we are going to face? And it looks like we're facing Newcastle. So a chance to get revenge. I think they beat us in, was it the semi-final of the FA Cup last year? And it's final time, but our captain has picked up a suspension. Worst time to get one. So I think we're going to play Kudus up front. And we'll go with the guy that wants to leave, Gibbs White. Hopefully he can at least get some silverware before he leaves. And it's what we've been waiting for. Another day at Wembley. Another game against Newcastle. And it's a chance for us to get our revenge. This time, silverware is on the line. Would love for us to win it. And funny enough, Ward-Prowse is captain in Newcastle for today's game. Ex-West Ham player. Their team does look very different. Few familiar faces. We're going to have to be careful of Isak. Obviously, Anthony Gordon as well. And 2 minutes in, we've got a free kick in a really good area. Chance to work the keeper here. It's going to be Douglas Luiz over it. And Douglas Luiz puts it in. What a way to start the final. And he's sipping a cup of tea. 1-0 to the Hammers at Wembley. And Almiron's found himself in behind. Gives it to Isak. And Isak equalises only a few minutes later. All to play for yet again. It's going to be a long game. We've managed to win a penalty. It's Jonathan David. Can he take us? Oh, he's hit the bar. He's missed. And Newcastle managed to clear. Douglas Luiz into Gibbs White. Finds Douglas Luiz. Good save. It's happened. We've conceded a penalty late in the game. Oh, what a save, Kelleher. We're still alive. Newcastle somehow managed to win. Apparently Willock scored in the 96th minute, but we didn't get a chance to defend or anything, so it is disappointment for West Ham in the Cup. But let's just see how the rest of the season goes. And would you look at this, guys? Graham Potter, apparently May 2027, Man United are going to offer Graham Potter the Man United job. For this rebuild, we're not going to accept it. This is a West Ham realistic rebuild. Although, I really want to, but we're going to reject it. Amorim, how's that happen then? Guys, we reached the end of the season. It actually managed to be a very poor season. Ended up finishing 11th. And I don't think we actually won a game after the FA Cup final, which is... not the FA Cup, sorry. The Carabao Cup final. So, Spurs won the league. This is getting unrealistic. And going down is Sunderland, Burnley and Southampton. Not too unrealistic that, but... that's a really disappointing season. We should have had silverware and we definitely should have had Europe. We just ended up falling off. And the squad looks good, but no surprise they're unhappy. Kudus is fuming. Oh, this is not good. And what I realised is I need to actually offer some new contracts. Kudus now be an 87 overall. And captain still. It should really be Bowen, but a few people need some contracts. Jonathan David needs a contract. In terms of stats though, Jonathan David had 26 on the season, Bowen with 21, then nothing else from the rest. Do you know what? We might actually just sell Kudus. 5 goals and 7 assists is not going to cut it. In other competitions, Man City won the FA Cup on penalties. Real Madrid beat PSV in the Champions League final, quite convincingly. Europa League went to Club Brugge. And Tottenham, so Tottenham completing the double, they won the Conference League. How are you winning the Prem and the Conference League? That is crazy. And Carlos Soler had a option to buy him at the end of his loan. He's gone to Forest for 11 mil. So guys, we're into season number 4. This is what the starting lineup looks like. It looks very good. Somerville's only 81 though. I thought he might grow to be a bit better than he is. And as for the starting lineup, is good. The bench is really good as well. Kasanov and Kova are coming back from their loans at 80 overall. Chukwuemeka now 79. Really and truly, if we don't make Europe this season, I think we deserve to be sacked. And so we're bringing in Alex Scott. Literally a straight swap, no money involved. Just Morgan Gibbs-White, who requested a leave. He's 82. He's going to replace Goretzka eventually. Obviously, Goretzka's not getting any younger. And I think that's the only signing we're going to make, to be honest. And guys, it's unfortunately been another rough end to the season. We finished 9th, which means no European football yet again. And I think you guys know what it means. Let's have a look at the squad. This is what Graham Potter's squad is looking like. I think we've done a good job rebuilding them. Tried to keep it quite realistic. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you've enjoyed it. No surprise who our top goal scorer is. Douglas Luiz done really well. 16 goals and 9 assists. And Jared Bowen with 14 and 4. 20 goals for Jonathan David. In terms of the league, it was Arsenal who won it quite comfortably actually. And relegation was Everton finally went down, Leeds and Coventry going down. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's rebuild. Obviously we said if we don't get Europe, Potter's getting sacked. So let me know if you thought this was realistic. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you again next time.